All right. Well, good morning, Nothingers. This is the All About Nothing podcast, kind of daily show. It's been a few weeks since we've participated in this, mostly because um, I think after the election, I think uh, my genuinely, I think my hope was that we weren't going to do uh, we weren't going to come on with extraordinarily bad news, and I think that for the most part we refrained from going live after after the election. I think even right now, my notes on YouTube. So well, live on YouTube right now, but my notes even say post election or something like that. But this isn't a post election. It's it's uh, it's the Monday after Thanksgiving, and I hope everyone survived. It's going to be real short this morning because I have to go back to work after several days off, which I'm sure a lot of us are experiencing the same thing. So that's kind of where we're at. In the news this morning, I woke up to President Biden has pardoned his son Hunter after he said that that was something that he was not going to do, and I'll be honest, doesn't bother me in the least. I think that we are in a different um, political environment. I think we've moved into a different political uh, world where politicians can say that they're going to, we've always kind of been here, but politicians can say what it is that they're going to do and or what they're not going to do, and then they do the opposite. I think we've kind of settled on this idea that our politicians are going to lie to us. Hell, 72 million of you voted for the guy that lies to you and had no qualms about it. So, uh, well, I don't know if 72 million of you knew he was lying to you. I'm going to give you at least 10% of that. I'm going to give you 7.5 million didn't didn't know he was lying. But that's again, we're just kind of in this political sphere now that uh, Biden can say, "No, I won't pardon my son Hunter on these charges," and then come back and decide he's gonna, and it's within his power. Part of I think part of the issue is that so first, don't compare what Biden's actions are versus what Trump's actions are. I think that's irresponsible. They're two completely different beasts as far as I'm concerned, and um, so you cannot compare what Biden does to what Trump does. But Trump's lawyers tried to get his case in Mar-a-Lago, the documents case, thrown out because of the way that the special prosecutor was chosen, and that was legitimate enough for Eileen Cannon in Florida, district attorney or district federal judge in Southern Florida, decided that was enough for her to throw out his documents case. Um, Special prosecutor for Hunter's case was chosen exactly the same way, absolutely no difference, which means that I'm pretty certain that that is cause for throwing out Hunter's case. Um, but they didn't. He was found guilty. He was convicted. And, if President Biden wants to pardon his son for something that potentially under other rules, absolutely didn't qualify for an actual case, based on Eileen Cannon's findings on special counsel, then ultimately, what difference does it make? The power to pardon someone is fully on the president. They have every option, and it's his damn son. You don't think that if charges were to come up against, you know, Don Jr. or Barron, Eric's definitely going to jail. There's no way that he pardons Eric. He hates Eric, but I'm just saying there's no way that Trump doesn't I mean, he pardoned Cash Patel. Cash Patel, who is now potentially in line to become the uh, director of the FBI, a guy that was convicted of, I think, taxes or something like that. I can't remember. I have to go back and look, but uh, was convicted of uh, a crime, did prison time, served his whole time, and then uh, I guess as a favor from Biden, or I'm sorry, as a favor from Trump, decided, yeah, I'm going to pardon this guy who's already here. Here's something also to understand. It does not remotely matter whether or not you are pardoned. It does not remotely matter in the sense of what you of your conviction. It doesn't matter. It doesn't really do anything for you, especially if you've already served your time. Wear it like a badge, you know? Take it out, drive it around in your ragtop coupe. Just, this is my part. This is my conviction. I did my time and I'm done. That's what Cash Patel did. And then Trump pardoned him for some weird reason. I don't know if he pardoned him. I don't know. I don't know what the cause was for pardoning Cash Patel, but here we are now, Cash Patel. So that I'm sorry, off subject. Um, so Biden pardoned Hunter. I don't have any issue with it. I know that there's a lot of snowflakes in the MAGAverse that are gonna have some issues with this, and they're gonna scream foul, and they're gonna be upset about it and say, "Well, he said he was never gonna do that." And that's the thing you decided that Biden was gonna be honest for you about. You decided that Biden was gonna be completely honest and stick to his guns about Hunter not being pardoned. Okay. I mean, you think he lied about everything else, but this was the one thing that you were certain or you're gonna hang your hat on it, and it's gonna be like, this is why I hate Biden, is because he pardoned his son. He loves his son enough to pardon him from having to go to jail or having to go through the cost and time of having a trial and appeals and things like that. Okay, so going back, it doesn't matter. Hunter will forever be a convicted felon of that. He just has been he's been pardoned of that conviction. So he will not have to serve time. He won't have to seek any more uh I guess he won't have to seek any more um lawyer time or anything like that. He is done with that. The same as all of the pardons that Trump did in his last few hours as president, that let off a bunch of people, including um, spies and people that had committed legitimate crimes they were convicted for. Um, and I again, it's well within the president's right to be able to pardon someone of anything federal. I mean, Trump. Look, here's the thing: Trump's going to get into office, and I'm not speculating, but it's entirely possible that he literally will pardon himself of the January 6th case, even though it's being dropped. He will pardon himself of the documents case, even though again it's being dropped. And I'm pretty certain that he is going to at least attempt to get his lawyers to move the Georgia case, the election interference case, and the New York case that he's been convicted of 34 felonies on. He's going to try and get those moved to the Supreme Court and they'll get those appealed all the way up to where the Supreme Court goes, whatever, criminal's going to crime. But so what I was saying though is regardless of whether or not he pardons himself or he's pardoned, same as Hunter, being pardoned doesn't change the fact that his status will and is and will forever be a convicted felon. He was adjudicated and convicted of the crimes. He will forever be a convicted felon. It doesn't matter whether it's appealed, it doesn't matter whether it's pardoned, it will always be his record. So those of you that out there that, you know, um look at President Trump as being your hero and the guy that you wish you could be the most like, which it's possible. Don't think that it's not. There you're fully capable of committing the same things. I don't know that you'll get away with them. Uh, that takes quite a bit of money and influence, um, but you could do the same thing. You could live up to his standards. We're down to his standards, whatever you want to define it as. But I am. It's just important to note they will forever be convicted felons. It doesn't change. None of that changes. So, uh, anyway, moving on, because we move on because I have to go to work. But so the last thing I'll just say is that the All About Nothing podcast, we did not record an episode last week. We did take Thanksgiving off, well deserved. I think in the year 2024, our seventh season of the podcast, I want to say I think that we published more than 60 or 70 episodes. I'd have to go back and check, but um, we published a lot of episodes this year, and one or two weeks off of not recording, I think benefit Zach and I. But we will be recording again this week. We have not yet lined up a guest, hoping well, potentially we're going to have uh, Zach from Famously Garnet, because the South Carolina Gamecocks did defeat the Clemson Tigers this past weekend for the Palmetto Bowl, and brought the Palmetto Bowl trophy, whatever it is. I don't know. Because I'm not a huge Gamecock fan. Georgia Tech lost to Georgia in 8 overtimes. That was a game. But by the end of by the end of that game, it was almost like there were 22 very feeble, exhausted old men basically just beating each other into the ground in order to try and win this game out, and Georgia pulled it off. I keep saying is if you give Georgia enough time to wear you down, they they will, that because they're conditioned for it. They have they have they have all the tools they need to go into 8 overtimes. They just do. I mean, but man, Georgia Tech hung in there, and Haynes King, fantastic quarterback, and I look forward to seeing what else he's going to do. Hoping that if I don't even know, but if he's got another year of eligibility or so, then I'm really hoping that he sticks around with Georgia Tech, and that we see potential in the championship um, running. So yeah, that is going to do it. I got to go to work. You know, I did I did almost 15 minutes this morning. So I hope everybody did have a great Thanksgiving. I hope those of you that had any uh, qualms about visiting family and whatnot, that went well. Um, if you're upset about the Joe Biden pardoning his son Hunter, get over it. It's because you're being upset about it isn't going to change anything. Um, it'll make for some fun back and forth, I guess, on social media, but don't waste your time with it. It really doesn't matter. I mean, progressives and liberals and Democrats were upset when Trump pardoned some of the absurd names that he did, but in the end, Hunter never hurt anyone. I mean, as far as the evidence proved in court, he didn't hurt anybody. You know, he didn't do anything that millions of other people don't do every single day and don't get caught or don't go to trial or don't go to jail. So just this is one, I think, that for you all that are emotionally attached to the whole thing, just get over it. There's no point. Look, between all, the only thing between life and death is entertainment. All of this is just entertainment. So just let it go. All right. It's going to do it for the All About Nothing podcast kind of daily show. We will again be recording this Wednesday, and we'll see who we have. But new episode will follow on Monday next week. I will warn you, we will probably take off for Christmas and New Year. So that'll a couple weeks into December is probably going to be the end of our I guess our season 7. We'll start season 8 in January. So season 8, 8 years of doing the All About Nothing podcast. Go check it out, theallaboutnothing.com as well. So that is going to do it. You all have a great day, and we will We might do another daily show this week, couple daily shows. We do have something coming up in January with this kind of daily thing, and we'll see where it goes. So that's gonna do it. All right, y'all have a good day. All right, bye TikTok.